You open your eyes. The room is quiet, but your body is already loud. Before you even throw off the covers, you feel it, that familiar stiffness in your knees, the ache in your lower back that makes sitting up a calculated negotiation. You swing your legs over the edge of the bed and your joints pop. It sounds like an old rusted door hinge, doesn't it? You sit there for a second, rubbing your hands together, feeling the swollen knuckles, and you think, is this just how it is now? Is this just getting older? You've tried the ibuprofen. You've tried the expensive creams that smell like wintergreen and broken promises. They numb it for a while, but the rust always comes back. What if I told you the rust isn't permanent? What if the thing that can actually lubricate those hinges, quiet the inflammation, and give you your mornings back isn't sitting in a pharmacy aisle? It is sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now, next to the salt and pepper. Today, we are going to talk about a leaf, a simple, dried leaf that has been quietly hiding a massive scientific secret about chronic pain. But before you go boiling water, you need to understand exactly what this leaf does to the rust inside you. Because if you do this wrong, it won't work. Picking up right where we left off, you're probably thinking, a leaf? Come on. I've had doctors look at my knees, I've had MRIs, and you're telling me a leaf is the answer? I hear you. Skepticism is good. It means you're paying attention. And before we go any further, I need to be very clear. I am sharing this with you for educational purposes. I'm not your doctor, and this video doesn't replace the medical advice of the professionals who know your specific health history. Always talk to your physician before changing your routine, especially if you are on medication. We are adults here, having an adult conversation about taking control of our own bodies. Now, we need to understand why your body hurts. We must talk about the rust. When you were 20, your joints were like a brand new, perfectly oiled machine. The cartilage, that smooth, rubbery cushion between your bones, was thick and hydrated. You could jump, run, and fall, and the machine just absorbed the shock. But time changes the environment inside us. Imagine leaving a beautiful, heavy iron gate out in the rain for 30 years. At first, it's fine. But slowly, the oxygen and the moisture start a chemical reaction. Oxidation. The iron starts to flake. It gets stiff. One day, you try to push that gate open and it fights back. It groans. It shrieks. That is exactly what is happening inside your knees, your hips, your hands. We call it oxidative stress. It's a biological rusting process. As we age, our bodies produce fewer of the natural defense mechanisms that keep this rust at bay. The cartilage starts to dry out. It thins. And when bone starts getting too close to bone, your body panics. It sends out an alarm. That alarm is inflammation. Inflammation isn't actually the bad guy. Not at first. It's your body's ambulance rushing to the scene of an accident. It brings extra blood, fluid, and white blood cells to protect the joint. The iron starts to flake. It gets stiff. One day, you try to push that gate open and it fights back. It groans. It shrieks. That is exactly what is happening inside your knees, your hips, your hands. We call it oxidative stress. It's a biological rusting process. As we age, our bodies produce fewer of the natural defense mechanisms that keep this rust at bay. The cartilage starts to dry out. It thins. And when bone starts getting too close to bone, your body panics. It sends out an alarm. That alarm is inflammation. Inflammation isn't actually the bad guy. Not at first. It's your body's ambulance rushing to the scene of an accident. It brings extra blood, fluid, and white blood cells to protect the joint. That's why your knuckles look swollen. That's why your knee feels hot and stiff. The body is trying to cast the joint in fluid to stop you from moving it and causing more damage. But here is the tragedy of chronic pain. The ambulance arrives, but it never leaves. The inflammation becomes chronic. It sets up camp in your joints. And instead of healing the tissue, this constant, simmering fire actually starts to eat away at the remaining cartilage. The rust accelerates. The gate gets harder and harder to open. So what do? We do what anyone in pain does. We reach for the medicine cabinet. We grab the ibuprofen, the naproxen, the over-the-counter saviors, and thank God for them, right? You take 2 pills, and an hour later, you can finally walk down the stairs without wincing. You can finally play with your grandkids. But we need to be honest about what those pills are actually doing. Imagine your house is on fire, and the smoke detector is screaming. Taking a standard painkiller is like taking a baseball bat and smashing the smoke detector. The noise stops. The alarm is quiet. You feel relief. But the fire? The fire is still burning in the kitchen. Those pills block the pain signals from reaching your brain. They give you a temporary window of peace, but they do absolutely nothing to remove the rust. They don't stop the oxidative stress. And worse, if you take them every day, week after week, year after year, they start to collect a toll. They thin the lining of your stomach. They force your liver and kidneys to work overtime to filter out the synthetic chemicals. You are trading one problem for another. You are borrowing tomorrow's health to pay for today's comfort. It's a heavy realization, isn't it? When you finally understand that the very thing you've been relying on to get through the day is slowly wearing down your internal organs. I've spoken to so many people who feel trapped in this cycle. They tell me, if I don't take the pill, I can't walk. If I do take the pill, my stomach burns. It's a lonely place to be. It makes you feel betrayed by your own body and betrayed by the solutions you were told would help. But I want you to take a deep breath. You are not out of options. The body has a miraculous capacity to heal, to regenerate, to quiet the alarms, if we just give it the right tools. There has to be a better way. A way to not just smash the smoke detector, but to actually put out the fire, to gently, naturally scrub the rust off the hinges. This is where we return to the kitchen cabinet. This is where we return to the leaf. We are talking about the bay leaf, Laurus nobilis, the exact same leaf you drop into a pot of beans or a Sunday roast. But when prepared correctly, and preparation is everything, which we will get to, it transforms from a culinary background note into a potent therapeutic agent. For thousands of years, long before pharmacies existed, ancient civilizations understood that nature provides its own rust removers. They didn't know the words oxidative stress or free radicals, but they knew that when their elders' joints grew stiff, a specific tea made from a specific dried leaf brought the mobility back. Modern science has finally caught up to this ancient wisdom. Researchers have put this leaf under the microscope, and what they found is nothing short of incredible. They discovered that this leaf isn't just a flavor for soups and stews. It is a complex biological laboratory. It contains specific, powerful compounds that don't just mask the pain. They actually travel through your bloodstream, enter the swollen joints, and begin to neutralize the rust. But what exactly are these compounds? How do they know where to go? And why is it that the leaf sitting in your pantry right now might be the exact thing your body has been begging for? We look at a bay leaf and we see soup. We see a pot roast. We see something our grandmothers used to make the kitchen smell like a quiet Sunday afternoon. We have been conditioned by modern convenience to look at nature and see only flavor, completely forgetting that for the vast majority of human history, the kitchen was the only pharmacy we had. When modern scientists finally decided to look past the culinary uses of Laurus nobilis, the true bay leaf, they found an architecture of healing that rivals many synthetic compounds. They didn't find magic. They found chemistry. Specifically, they found 3 distinct compounds that work together to dismantle the rust in your joints. The first thing they found was a massive concentration of polyphenols. You hear that word thrown around a lot in health magazines. Polyphenols, antioxidants. But I want to ground that in reality. Because of their unique molecular structure, they carry extra electrons. They willingly hand them over to the free radicals. They stop the violence. They halt the rusting process at the cellular level. It is a quiet, invisible rescue mission happening inside your swollen knuckles while you go about your day. But stopping the rust isn't enough if the fire of inflammation is still burning. This is where the second compound comes in. Eugenol. If you've ever had a severe toothache and a dentist applied a natural clove oil to numb the nerve, you've experienced eugenol. It is a profound, natural analgesic. But in the bay leaf, it acts systemically. When eugenol reaches an inflamed joint, it interacts with the nerve endings that are currently screaming at your brain. It doesn't smash the smoke detector like a chemical pill does. Instead, it gently turns down the volume of the alarm. Simultaneously, eugenol signals the blood vessels around the joint to constrict just enough to push the excess, stagnant fluid out of the tissue. It is the difference between a dam breaking and a controlled release of pressure. You wake up, and the knee that looked like a grapefruit the night before actually looks like a knee again. The skin isn't pulled tight. The heat radiating from the joint is gone. And then there is the third layer of this leaf's architecture: linalool. Anyone who has lived with chronic pain knows a heavy secret that doctors rarely talk about. The pain in the joint is only half the problem. The other half is the armor your body builds around it. When your lower back hurts, the muscles surrounding your spine seize up. They become hard as rock, trying to act as a physical splint to protect the vulnerable area. This constant muscle tension is exhausting. It drains your energy. It ruins your sleep. You wake up feeling like you've been in a physical fight you don't remember. Chronic pain changes your personality. It makes your fuse shorter. It steals your patience because your body is constantly bracing for impact. Linalool is a naturally occurring terpene found deep within the veins of the bay leaf. Its primary function is not to treat the bone, but to speak directly to the nervous system. It is a profound muscle relaxant. As the polyphenols stop the rust and the eugenol puts out the fire, the linalool whispers to the surrounding muscles that it is finally safe to let go. Imagine that feeling, the slow, warm release of tension in your lower back, the shoulders dropping away from your ears, the heavy armor finally coming off. You don't just get your mobility back, you get your energy back, you get your patience back. This is why the bay leaf is not a passing trend. It is a biological tool. It is a complex matrix of compounds that address the pain, the swelling, and the tension simultaneously. It respects the body's intelligence instead of overriding it with brute chemical force. But here is the catch, and it is a massive one. You cannot just throw a leaf into a cup of hot water and expect this symphony of healing to happen. The polyphenols, the eugenol, the linalool, they are locked inside the tough cellular walls of the leaf. They are protected. If you brew it too hot, you destroy the delicate linalool. If you brew it too cold, you never extract the heavy eugenol. If you use the wrong type of leaf entirely, you might actually ingest compounds that irritate your kidneys instead of healing your joints. There is a very specific, almost mathematical way this tea must be prepared to unlock the pharmacy inside it. It requires a precise ratio of water, a specific resting time, and the addition of one common household ingredient that acts as a catalyst to pull the medicine out of the leaf and into the water. If you get the preparation wrong, you are just drinking hot, leaf-flavored water. But if you get it right, you create a potent, anti-inflammatory serum. Here is how you actually make this. Because as I said, if you just throw a leaf in a mug and pour boiling water over it, you are wasting your time. You are making a soup, not a serum. The very first rule, and this is non-negotiable, is that you must use dried bay leaves. Laurus nobilis. Do not go out to the garden and pick a fresh leaf off a random laurel bush. Fresh leaves, and certain other ornamental varieties of laurel, contain high levels of compounds that can actually be harsh on your kidneys and liver. The drying process is what neutralizes those harsher elements and concentrates the healing polyphenols we just talked about. So, dried leaves only. The ones sitting in your spice rack right now are perfect. You're going to take about 1.5 cups of water, roughly 12 ounces. Pour it into a small pot on your stove. Take exactly 5 dried bay leaves. Don't crush them into a powder, just break them gently in half with your fingers. You want to hear that dry snap. That snap breaks the outer cellular wall just enough to let the water in. Drop the leaves into the water and turn the heat on high. You want to bring this to a rolling boil. The moment it starts boiling, set a timer for exactly 5 minutes. Do not let it boil longer than that. That 5-minute window of high heat is what forces the heavy, pain-relieving eugenol out of the leaf. When the timer goes off, turn the heat completely off. Now, put a lid on the pot. This is the step most people miss. You must cover it and let it steep, undisturbed, for 10 minutes. Why the lid? Because linalool, that beautiful muscle relaxant we discussed, is a volatile compound. It evaporates with the steam. If you don't trap the steam, the linalool floats away into your kitchen air. You want it in your joints, not on your ceiling. After 10 minutes, take the lid off. The water will have turned a pale, golden color. Strain the leaves out. Pour that golden liquid into a larger pitcher or a large mason jar, and add enough fresh room temperature water to bring the total volume up to about 1 quart or 4 cups. Now we add the catalysts, the things that tell your body to absorb this medicine. Add 1 small pinch of Himalayan pink salt, not table salt. Pink salt has trace minerals that act as a carrier, pulling the water deep into your dehydrated cartilage. Next, squeeze in a few drops of fresh lemon juice and add exactly 1 teaspoon of raw apple cider vinegar. The slight acidity of the vinegar and lemon breaks down the final barriers of the plant compounds, making them instantly bioavailable to your bloodstream. If you are still here with me, this deep into the video, I want to invite you to subscribe to our channel and walk this path with us every day. We spend so much of our lives being told that getting older just means accepting the pain, that we just have to manage the decline and watch our world get smaller. I don't believe that. And the fact that you are sitting here, listening to the science of a simple leaf, tells me that you don't believe it either. You are still fighting for your quality of life. You still want to move, to travel, to play with your grandchildren without wincing. I respect that immensely. So how do we use this serum to actually win the morning? You have your quart of the prepared bay leaf tea. You are going to drink 1 cup of this first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, before your coffee, before your breakfast. When you wake up, your body is in a state of mild dehydration and your stomach acid is highly concentrated. By drinking this on an empty stomach, the eugenol immediately signals your digestive system to wake up gently, while the polyphenols and linalool are absorbed directly into your bloodstream without having to compete with food. Within 20 to 30 minutes, you are going to notice 2 things. First, you are going to need to use the restroom. This tea is a gentle, natural diuretic. It is flushing out the stagnant, retained fluid that has been pooling around your ankles and your knees all night. It is literally draining the swamp. Second, as you start moving around the kitchen, making your coffee, you are going to notice that the volume of your pain has been turned down. The rust feels a little less thick. The hinges feel a little more lubricated. You might find yourself bending down to pick something up and realizing a second later that you didn't have to brace yourself for the pain. It is a profound, quiet shift in how your body operates. But as powerful as this is, it is not for everyone. In fact, there are specific groups of people who should never drink this tea because it can interact with their biology in ways that are actually dangerous. I told you a moment ago that there are specific people who should never drink this serum. And I need you to listen to this part carefully because it proves exactly what I've been saying. This is not just a comforting beverage. This is active biological medicine. And like any medicine, it demands respect. First, if you are pregnant or nursing, this is not for you. The compounds in the bay leaf, particularly the eugenol and the concentrated terpenes, are incredibly powerful. Finally, if you have a scheduled surgery coming up, you need to stop drinking this tea at least 2 weeks prior. The bay leaf contains natural coumarins, which gently improve circulation and act as a mild blood thinner. That is fantastic for heavy, tired legs and cardiovascular health, but it is not what you want when you are going into an operating room. Understanding these boundaries is how we take our power back. For too long, we have outsourced our health entirely to a system that only looks at us when we are broken. We wait for the joint to fail, and then we ask for a replacement. We wait for the rust to freeze the hinge, and then we ask for a pill to numb the pain of the rusted metal tearing against itself. You start saying no to dinners, no to vacations, no to getting down on the carpet to build blocks with your grandson. Not because you don't want to, but because the toll it takes on your body just isn't worth it. The rust becomes a prison. Think about a classic car, a beautiful vintage machine. If you own a car like that, you don't wait for the engine block to crack before you open the hood. You check the oil, you lubricate the chassis, you listen to the subtle changes in the idle. You perform daily, quiet maintenance because you respect the machine and you want it to run beautifully for as long as possible. Your body is the most complex, beautiful machine you will ever own. And right now, the aches, the stiffness, the swelling, that is the engine knocking. That is the check engine light flashing on the dashboard. Drinking this bay leaf serum is not a magic trick. It is daily maintenance. It is you waking up every morning and deciding to lubricate the chassis. It is you making a conscious choice to flush out the oxidative stress before it has a chance to settle into your cartilage and turn into rust. When you start treating your body with this kind of preventative respect, something profound begins to happen. Yes, the physical pain starts to recede. Yes, the swelling goes down. But the real transformation is much deeper than that. When you are no longer spending all your physical and mental energy just trying to manage your pain, a massive amount of energy suddenly becomes available to you. You wake up one day and you realize that for the first time in years, you aren't planning your day around how much your back hurts. And that realization, that moment when the heavy blanket of chronic pain is finally lifted, it changes everything about how you see the time you have left. It is time to bring all of this together. You understand the science now. You bring it to a rolling boil for exactly 5 minutes to force the heavy oils out. And then, this is the most critical part, you turn off the heat, cover the pot with a lid, and let it steep in the dark for 10 minutes. That lid traps the volatile terpenes, the linalool, keeping it in the water instead of letting it evaporate into your kitchen. Once it's steeped, you dilute it with enough room temperature water to make a full quart, and you add your catalysts. A pinch of Himalayan pink salt for cellular hydration, a few drops of lemon, and a teaspoon of raw apple cider vinegar to break down the final plant barriers. Now, a question I always get from people who want to do this right. Can I make a large batch on Sunday for the whole week? Microwaving violently destroys the delicate molecular structure of the plant medicine. Instead, pour your cup and let it sit on the counter for 20 minutes to reach room temperature or gently warm it in a small pan on the stove. Treat it with the respect you would give to a vintage wine or a delicate broth. And I must reiterate this because it is a matter of profound respect for the power of nature. This is active medicine. If you are pregnant or nursing, your body is already performing a miracle. Do not introduce these potent terpenes to a developing nervous system. If you are currently taking prescription medication to manage your blood sugar, you must consult your physician before drinking this. The bay leaf is so effective at lowering blood glucose that combining it with insulin or metformin could drop your levels dangerously low. And if you are scheduled for any kind of surgery, you must stop drinking this 2 weeks prior, as the natural coumarins act as a mild blood thinner. We use nature to heal, not to complicate. If you are clear of those restrictions and you commit to this simple, quiet morning ritual, the physical changes will come. The swelling in your knuckles will start to recede. The sharp, grinding pain in your knees when you stand up from a low chair will dull, and eventually it will quiet down entirely. But the physical relief is just the first layer. The real transformation happens in your mind. When you live with chronic pain, your world becomes incredibly small. Pain is a dictator. It tells you when you can sleep. It tells you what shoes you are allowed to wear. It tells you whether or not you can get down on the floor to play with your grandchildren. It steals your spontaneity. It makes you irritable with the people you love, simply because your body is constantly bracing for the next sharp ache. But what happens when that dictator loses its voice? What happens when you wake up, swing your legs over the edge of the bed, and the hinges don't scream? I will tell you what happens. You get your dignity back. You get your calendar back. You stop looking at a flight of stairs as an enemy, and you start looking at it as just a way to get to the second floor. You stop being the person who has to sit out the family walk after dinner. You stop surviving, and you start living again. We have been sold a very cynical lie about getting older. We have been told that aging is simply a one-way street of accumulating rust until the machine finally stops working. We are expected to just accept the decline, take our synthetic pills, and quietly fade into the background. I refuse to accept that. And by being here, by listening to this, I know you refuse it too. You are not a rusted machine. You are a living, breathing, regenerating organism. Your body desperately wants to heal. I want you to tell me the truth. Tell me where your rust is. Tell me what you want to be able to do again when the pain finally stops. And tell me what topic you want us to uncover in our next video. I read them. I listen to you. The rust is not permanent. The hinges can be cleared. Tomorrow morning, before the rest of the house wakes up, go to your kitchen, find that simple, dried leaf, and begin the quiet work of healing.